Hey, it's DeagleBeagle. I thought I'd go over some of the common teams or types, basically the archetypes, I call it intra Orlando and post Orlando regional. So that means during the Orlando tournament, looking at the top 128 teams and some other teams too that are somewhat common among the teams lately, the metagame. They pretty much almost all fall into the 12 or 13 teams I listed. So you see a lot of that. I'm not just making this up. This is from Nimbasa City Post, and you can see the same thing from other websites. So basically, you see a lot of, well, I'll just go through the list. Not necessarily common combos, super common combos. Most of them are, but some of them are just like good combos in general that I or someone else has came up with. So there is the Palafin Iron Hands. Um, I guess you could say it's sort of like a combo, even though Iron Hands it's not that much of a combo with the other two because it doesn't directly benefit from those, but like having Pelipper that's immune to ground and I mean it's just a good defense and offensive core. The fake out support, the bulk, everything, and Palafin does super affect a lot of Pokemon that would Earthquake or Headlong Rush the Iron Hands. So I suppose you could say it's a combo. And then Paris Trap, Screamtail with Gothitelle, Arcanine, Amoonguss, all of that. That's going to be another common team. Dondozo teams with Tatsugiri, and oftentimes they run like Goldango, Brew Bonnet, Palmot slash Iron Hands. We saw that a lot at the top cut matches with Chuppa and Ashton and so on. And then there was a lot of these teams that ran like Gothitelle, Bundle, Tar, Arcanine, and other Pokemon too. But I'm highlighting those other three because those Pokemon are actually good with Goth, or at least like changing the speed element or changing the weather or intimidating them or snarling them. That's good with the Shadow tag. So the next team, Talonflame is really good for the Tailwind and the ground type offense, fast ground type offense, or the just an Earthquake. A really powerful Earthquake is hard to deal with in Tailwind if you outspeed them. But assuming they can match the Tailwind and have Arcanine, usually they don't have Arcanine on a Tailwind type team, but if they do, they could match it and Will-O-Wisp your Tusk before you even attack. So you could use Terrifier or whatnot, but it's just like I think Sandy Shocks or Chomp is better. Chomp is actually not very common on this archetype because everyone overrates Great Tusk. But I was thinking of changing that to Chomp possibly if you want a fast, good Earthquake. And it has more special defense. It is 4 times weak to ice though, which is a significant drawback. Okay, Flutter Mane is good on a lot of teams. Indeedee, Armarouge, Hard Trick Room. There's other Hard Trick Room teams, but that's probably the most common one that did somewhat well. But there's so many people trying to counter that, I wouldn't use that personally. So I guess I could list not good next to it. But sometimes it is good, but usually it's not when they are smart enough to counter it. Which every team, in my opinion, should have an Indeedee Armarouge counter. And then Tar Lycanroc, that combo is seen a little bit in Orlando. And then there are a lot of teams though that just had 6 Pokemon that have somewhat decent synergy together and are high tier Pokemon like Amoonguss, Arcanine type of stuff with like maybe Flutter Mane and a ground Pokemon or whatever, and then something after that. Or it could just be like I said, just 6 random good Pokemon, and they just try to do their best with it. And then Mousehold, I think it instead of Mental Herb, it should run Safety Goggles now because after testing a lot, yeah, Taunt does shut it down, but if you can use Safety Goggles, that's a more consistent counter to Spore than Taunt. They could just use Mental Herb. So I'd rather just go for consistency, and if they Taunt, well, you can use like takedown or something, at least damage them a little bit, or hyper voice, whatever, with mouse hold, and then just keep doing what you're doing by supporting Fluttermane with Friend Guard and Follow Me, and then Imprison and DDF with Tyranitar. That's good for really shutting on Trick Room, especially in DD Armourouge. But just in general, a lot of Trick Roomers are weak to Dark. So the next, and by the way, going back to that slide, Tar can use Terra Psychic and get a boost, and then you can like two-shot the Iron Hands with it, and just Follow Me if you need to too. So common teams or combos continued. Well, Iron Moth with Acid Spray and Fluttermane's a not good combo, but it's somewhat common. I've tested it, it's just not good in general with Cover Cloak and all these other things. It's just, I don't know, Moth. Just the Moth is the problem. It's, you would think it would be good on paper. It sounds really good, but there's just too many things that countered it. And Grimmsnarl plus Sylveon, Terra Water with Parasong, Azumarill, and Pelipper back. That's actually the team archetype that I thought of, because it's been doing really well since even in Series 1. I've just been tweaking it and tweaking and tweaking it, and it's pretty good. And then Abomasnow, Iron Bundle, Blizzard, that's all right. I wouldn't say it's a great combo, but it's a decent combo. It's top cut a lot of tournaments, online tournaments, and stuff. So thanks for watching.